My name's Peter Robinson. I'm in Richmond, North Yorkshire. I don't know why I started writing, but it's something I've always done. I mean, even when I was a child, I used to make up stories and illustrate them myself. And then I got hooked on mysteries. And after a while, I thought, I'd like to have a go at one of those. You know, maybe I can do that, I'll try it. And I did. And like 3 lousy novels later, I finally wrote one that wasn't too bad. One of the things that surprised me really when I started reading mysteries was the range. I'd read Sherlock Holmes when I was a kid and loved it, and I'd read some Agatha Christie's, and I thought that all mysteries really were just puzzles that some super brain solved in the end. And I didn't feel I could do that kind of thing. But when I read the Maigret novels, for example, by Simenon, I found that they were more about character, atmosphere, sense of place. Chandler, they were very much about language and wit and character. There seemed to be just so much you could do with a crime novel. It wasn't as limited as I thought it was. And these days it's even less limited. I usually try to begin with a body in a place. You know, the location is very important, and as you know, most of the books are set in Yorkshire, and there's no shortage of places. I have a friend down the street who takes me on walks that are not in most of the guidebooks, and we find some sort of out-of-the-way places, strange ruined buildings, derelict factories or abattoirs, and you know, it can be very creepy. It's very beautiful, Yorkshire, but there are some very creepy places, and generally I would begin with a body in one of these places, or the alternative to that, of course, the opposite, in a great beauty spot, which shouldn't be spoiled by a body. Well, usually with a name. It sounds strange, but sometimes names help you define something about a character. Certainly they'll help you define maybe social class, age, background, you know, that kind of thing. Physical description is not the most important thing. It's usually by what they do, by what they say, by what other people say about them. You know, because Banks will go around and ask people, do you know so-and-so, you know, what's he like? And what the other people tell him is not necessarily an accurate portrayal of this person. You build up a picture slowly, sort of the way you get to know people in real life. You don't get it all at once. Oh, baddies are the best, absolutely. And not necessarily just criminals. You know, I have a recurring character, not in every book, Superintendent Dirty Dick Burgess. And he's one of the old school, rough and ready coppers. And he's everything that's politically incorrect, you know. He's racist, he's sexist, he's all of those things. And writing from his point of view is far more interesting than from Banks's. You can get away with murder, more or less. It's a matter of being selective, you know. So I don't read a lot of true crime, but I sometimes see documentaries on TV. People mention cases to me that I get interested in. And there may be just one small element that doesn't seem important to the person who's telling it. But I think, oh, now that's interesting. I could probably bring that in, you know, to the story I'm doing. Completely separate it from its original source and use it in a different way. In fiction, there's a conclusion and justice is usually done or seen to be done. I mean, most crime fiction has a shape and there usually is a conclusion. Usually the killer is brought to justice in some way. It may be private justice, it may be courts and jail, whatever, but it's solved. And I think, you know, that what readers care about, 2 things. Certainly they want to know who did it, but more than that, I think they want to know why. And that's one thing crime novels try to solve and real life rarely does.